Up this week, I love my little Wagamama creations. This is my version of a Wagamama Yaki Soba noodles. Okay, so yakisoba noodles, we're going to be making this up with some really simple ingredients today. First of all, we're going to start crisping off some onions. So we're going to get a pan, nice and hot. Into that, I'm going to add a dash of vegetable oil. When I say a dash, I mean a good glug. And then we've got a half an onion over here. And I'm just going to really nicely thinly slice this. And really what we're doing here is just creating our toppings. So we're going to do a nice little bit of pink pickled ginger, and we're going to do some really nice crispy fried onions. They're going to take about 5 to 10 minutes just to char off. I want them to go really nice dark brown and crispy. Meanwhile, we've got a nice little piece of ginger just over here. I'm going to thinly slice this, stack them all back up again, turn it round, and again, nice little thin slivers. We have got a jar. Into that, we're going to add our ginger. We want to pickle this off slightly. Now, there's a pink ginger, or you can add a small amount of radish to this, and the pink will start to stain it as well. And if you buy the stuff online, they usually stain it with some sort of beetroot juice, just over the top. And then into that, we're going to add a generous portion of sugar. Got some rice wine vinegar. And then we're going to add a decent amount of salt into this as well. So the salt and the sugar is going to really nicely season this and give it that lovely sort of pickling flavour. Quick check on your onions, and you can see there, they've started to go really golden brown and crisping up. It's exactly as we want them to go on top. So they're almost like a dark brown colour. We want to dry them off so they just go nice and crispy. So just going to add that onto a bit of paper towel. I'm just going to leave them just to drain off some of that oil. So there are lovely crispy onions. They can just sit to one side. Okay, back on with another saucepan. Lots of different stages to this recipe, but it's worth doing. So you've got a little pan, and into that I'm going to add our ginger mix. Over here we've got a pan with our soba noodles in. So our soba noodles main, they're buckwheat basically. So we've got 4 of those. We're going to add that to some hot water, and using my zip tap, I'm just going to fill it up to about halfway. And we're going to simply pop them over here on the stove, whack a bit of heat through there, just to cook them through very slightly. Over here, you can see the ginger's just coming up to boil. I'm just going to move this over to one side on a lower heat. And over here, we've got a nice big wok or deep pan. Back up to heat, so that's nice and hot again. And over here, we're going to start working on some of our vegetables. So we've got red pepper, nice thin slices. We've got some green pepper, exactly the same again. We've got some onion. We've got some bean sprouts, and over here we've got some spring onion as well. So I'm just going to literally just take off the ends for these. And I'm going to cut these like so, and I'm just going to run my knife down the side of these and just cut these into nice little slithers. That's pretty much your prep work done. You can use pretty much any vegetables that you want on here. I just like a little bit of onion, a little bit of spring onion, that green pepper and the red pepper for that extra bit of crunch really works nicely. Now over here, in a second bowl, we're going to add some of our wet ingredients to make up our sauce. So we have got 1 clove of crushed garlic. We've got 2 teaspoons of ketchup, 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of our Worcester sauce, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and we've got 2 teaspoons of oyster sauce. Really good mix up. Right, so we want to put some heat through this. We've got a nice hot pan. I'm going to add some vegetable oil, and that needs to be baking hot. And we're going to add our chicken. So we've got about 1/4 of a chicken breast. Really working quickly with that. In with our vegetables and our spring onions. And you can see there, those noodles are pretty perfectly done. I'm just going to literally drain them off as much as you can. They can go into that baking hot oil. Another good mix round. Remember, we're frying this at such a high temperature. Next load of noodles. We've got some king prawns. Really nice fry on there. Because you're working so hot with this, that cooks through so quickly. And now we're going to add our sauce. They're a really nice mix round. Remember, there's quite a bit of sugar in there, so it's going to caramelise, and you've got to watch that it doesn't stick to the side of your pan, that you're using that as a really nice high heat. We've got a decent handful of our bean sprouts. And then lastly, just into the corner of the pan, I'm going to add 1 egg and putting that to the side of the pan, and I'm just going to really nicely mix that. And then stirring that through our noodles and our chicken and our beautiful crunchy vegetables. That's going to give it a lovely sort of nice texture through there, and those nice little bits of egg going through the actual noodles themselves. And in a matter of seconds, that is cooked through and done, and that's ready to be served up. I'm going to take a scattering of sesame seeds just over the top. We have got our gorgeous crispy onions. And then lastly, we've got this beautifully soft. Now you can cool that ginger down by all means, stick it in the fridge overnight. I don't actually mind this. I actually quite like this really hot. We've got a really small amount of shredded red chili. And lastly, we've got a scattering really nicely chopped spring onions. And there we go, that is my yakisoba noodles done with the most beautiful king prawns, chicken, loads of crunchy vegetables in there. We've got our pickled ginger, our crispy onions, and finished off with a little bit of shredded chili. It is such a good dish, and it's ready in 10 to 15 minutes. Look, if you get recreating this one, you know the drill, #Haste Kitchen. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week. Cheers then, bye-bye.